We are the anchors of Queer News Tonight, and this evening we discuss the queer headlines. Protests erupted at Stonewall after pride flag removal. New York City leaders, including Mayor Zohran Mamdani, demand the flag be returned, calling the move erasure of LGBTQ plus history and identity.
New China study shows partners boost HIV testing, while U.S. data highlights PrEP gaps among Black and Latinx sexual minority men.
Republican Brian Babin praises Trump in prayer, triggering backlash and renewed scrutiny of his anti-LGBTQ plus record.
New research shows Fox News published nearly 1,000 anti-trans articles in 2025, outpacing major media outlets and intensifying media bias concerns.
UC Berkeley professor and students expand Wikipedia to preserve queer history, counter misinformation, adding thousands of citations and millions of views. All this important LGBTQ plus news and a whole lot more this evening on Queer News Tonight. Welcome to Queer News Tonight. This is the world's first and only LGBTQ daily news television show, broadcasting live and available on demand on your favorite streaming channels.
Analytics company vidIQ has certified the Queer News Tonight YouTube channel as the world's most popular LGBTQ streaming news show. Our queer news stories have reached over 11 million views.
We are proud that Queer News Tonight has more YouTube subscribers than any other LGBTQ plus brand in Florida.
We thank you for watching and supporting our voice in our rainbow family. There is no other news program in the LGBTQ world like Queer News Tonight. It
is Wednesday, February 11th. We are live and literally out of the closet and into the headlines. So many of your important stories we will tell this evening on Queer News Tonight.
You're watching Queer News Tonight, the world's first daily LGBTQ evening news show.
Welcome to the world's most important LGBTQ evening news show.
Hotspots magazine, Happening Out Television Network, is a nonprofit 501c3 media company in the same model as PBS and NPR, but created for the LGBTQ community. Our nonprofit mission is to support the 11 pillars of our community. We want to inform and educate the key issues of lesbian, trans, Latino, Black, healthcare, seniors, students, faith, social justice, business, and queer culture. Help us support our diverse community.
We are part of one of the largest LGBTQ nonprofit media companies in America, Hotspots Magazine and Happening Out Television Network. Hotspots Happening Out is a proud beneficiary of the 2026 Florida AIDS Walk, standing strong by our healthcare pillar. Funds raised and matched dollar for dollar in support of our HIV policy reform and educational programs, including our MSM conference. We invite you to donate and join us on March 21st to walk in support of the Hotspots Happening Out teams.
In 2026, our magazine is celebrating 41 years of the LGBTQ experience, and Queer News Tonight is celebrating our 5th anniversary with more than 111,000 LGBTQ television stories. We present South Florida's major LGBTQ events, including Pride for Lauderdale, Stonewall Pride, and Pride Fed. Our magazine, events, television, news, talk, and entertainment shows support our mission to educate the LGBTQ and broader community.
In 2026, more than 100 community leaders will sit at this very table and share their voice as our anchors. Together, we host this show to support the LGBTQ plus community. Let's meet this evening's anchors at Queer News Tonight. Yes, it's going to be an incredible show because we got family at the table. Let's talk about Vaughn Biggs. He's a community engagement and outreach coordinator at Holy Cross Health, a vice chair of the Ryan White Part A Planning Council, and a board member of Trans Ed and Harmony Waves. When are you going to find a boyfriend when you got so much stuff going on your plate, Vaughn?
You tell me.
And every time I read this, I add another line of something else that you're doing, Vaughn.
I'm not adding anything else. Soon there'll be things coming off.
Welcome back to the table, baby boy. How are you?
I wouldn't know what's coming off.
Oh, well.
Well, there's always something coming up.
Right.
You know what I mean? Vaughn, how are you? What
I'm
are you going
good.
on?
Not much. A lot of work. But I got to see you over the weekend.
Yeah.
Which was awesome, right?
Oh, my God.
And drama queen right here, right next to me.
Oh, watch it. We'll talk more about that in a second. Vaughn, thank you so much for being back at the table at Queer News Tonight. Let's welcome back to the table my bestie. We call him John Hayden. Well, his mom also calls him that also. So he's a journalist for 31 years. He now focuses on hyper-local reporting, covering LGBTQ plus issues, Wilton Manors, Lauderdale by the Sea, Fort Lauderdale, Oakland Park, etc., etc. You can also see his reports at Greater Wilton Manors on YouTube and Facebook. Make sure that you subscribe to those. As well in New Pelican, Outclick, out South Florida, and once again here with us at Queer News Tonight. So John, the Wedding Singer musical is running, and I've heard incredible things, and it's running this weekend, also February 13th and 14th. Tell us what's happening out.
Well, I plan to spend Valentine's weekend celebrating old school. The Wedding Singer, the musical, is playing at Coral Springs Center for the Arts, or the Center, as the cool kids call it. It has all the camp and nostalgia of the original. It's starring friend of the show, Alexander Zenos, as Robbie Hart, Adam Sandler's role in the movie. And despite still having a luxuriously thick head of hair, he told me that a trip to hair and makeup will be in order for.
Have you seen the wig yet? Because half
the
wig, half the character of Adam Sandler is just the look from his 80s, 90s look, right?
I think I can get some extensions put in for sure. You know, keep it business in the front, but party in the back.
Oh, a boy after my own Central Indiana heart. I love that.
Yeah, that mullet is going to be all business in the front and party in the back. You can get more details at thecentercs.com. You know, Alex he's so fun to interview. He's so fun to watch. He's very engaging on stage. You know, I think we've all probably seen him multiple times around Wilton Manor. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the show.
Whenever we get a chance to see Alexander Zenos on stage, right, either doing his own original music, playing covers, or this way, right, is just amazing. The boy is so freaking talented. Yeah. It's ridiculous. Now, Wedding Singer is like one of my favorite movies of all time. You know what I mean? Like the soundtrack are songs that we grew up with, that the four of us grew up with, you know? And that last scene on the airplane, I always cry with Billy Idol, right? Like, you know, like, so, you know, my other bestie, Cal, has already gone to see the play, and he told me that, like, you know, the audience is part of the wedding. You know, the audience is in on all the jokes. Like, how fun is that? Because I'm like, how do you transfer such an iconic movie to a stage? And they've done it in such a perfect way.
Yeah.
You know?
Can't wait.
Can't wait. Well, Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you all at the Wedding Singer musical on February 13th and 14th. Yes, my favorite Venezuelan is at the table, and I couldn't be happier. Let's welcome back anchor Dino Mosquera. He joined the Miami Gay and Lesbian Film Festival in the late 90s and now serves on the Outshine Film Festival's board of directors. Welcome back to the show, Dino. And speaking about Outshine, oye, mi amor, estamos en febrero. Y ahora viene Outshine en abril.
That's right.
Oh, wait a minute. Bloop. Sorry, too much Bad Bunny. Outshine Film Festival, which is my favorite film festival of all time. I go to many and I really enjoy a lot of them. But Outshine has a place in my heart, mainly because you forced me. But aside from you forcing me, it's February. Like, Outshine is right around the corner. Isn't it coming up in April?
It is. It's actually coming up April 23rd through May 3rd. And again, as you remember from the last couple of years, we start now in Miami a week, and then the last weekend is in Fort Lauderdale. So we have great movies planned. Actually, as a matter of fact, we're just finishing the selection of the films. So the program should be coming out, you know, later in March. So look it up, outshinefilm.com, when we'll announce it on the show. But, you know, and you and I probably will talk about several movies once again, which we appreciate. So, and to promote the festival. So look us up and join us this time in Miami and Fort Lauderdale. So,
what kind of feedback have you gotten from incorporating both cities like you have?
it's, we're trying to get people to, join both festivals. I mean, it's the same festival, and it's just, but again, there's some people that have a hard time crossing the county line.
The border from Broward to Dade, right?
Yeah.
As John nods, because he knows he's got to go to Coral Gables this week, and he's like, how do I get there?
I'm sorry, I've got to leave now.
Do you find it that it was harder or easier this year with just the current climate to pick your movies?
Yeah, I mean, it's always, especially films with drag queens, as you know, it's not always easy, and depending on the venue, you know how it is. We had in the year past, issues with some of the films that were, portraying drag queens, and but it's always, the world works different, and submissions come from all over the world. So we always have films from, not just the US, but, from all over. But we will continue showing them, because the community support that. So.
Yeah. No, and it's important. I mean, you folks always make sure to represent everyone.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Just because, you've had pro-Palestine videos, as you movies, as you've had Israel, as you've had drag, as you've had trans, as you've had black. I mean, you've had it all. You covered it all and continue doing so. And we appreciate it so much. And we expect you to come back to the table with some more information soon.
For sure. Yeah, when we have the finalized program, for sure, we'll come back and talk about it.
All right. We can't wait. Well, Dino Mosquera, thank you for being back at the table at Queer News Tonight.
And of course, let's welcome tonight's lead anchor and my most favorite lesbian, FayWhat. She is a legendary events host, television and radio personality, and the host of Hotspots Happening Out, the FayWhat Show. Faye, Upside Down musical runs in South Florida through February 14th. Tell me what's happening.
I will, Von B. So Upside Down has made its South Florida premiere at the Arts at CSL. That's the Center for Spiritual Living. You know where that's at. So it's running through February 14th. That's this Saturday. Last playing will be at 8 p.m. And it's a musical that arrives with off-Broadway buzz. It shows a world where women rule, straight love is forbidden, and the Miami Dolphins never lose. And in such a world, one couple dares to challenge the system. The performances are on Fridays at 8 p.m. and Saturdays at 2 p.m. and 8 p.m. Tickets available at CSL, FortLauderdale.org, or look on the Center for Spiritual Living website, and you'll be able to find our tickets there. So this is the last weekend, kids, and I think that John has heard me just be so freaked out over not getting the words right and being super nervous about doing this, and here I am in the last weekend of doing it, and I can't wait. It's so incredible. So in the play, I play the President of the United States, and both you boys have already seen the play, and I so appreciate that you both came to see me. And that doesn't wash over me lightly, with the immigration stuff that's going on, with ICE picking up people everywhere. It meant so much to me when they offered this role to me, and they said, you get to be a Latina lesbian, like
and
that.
President.
And the President of the United States. So I channel if Sofia Vergara and Kamala Harris had a baby. Right? And that's what you get, But imagine a world where 90% of the world is gay and 10% is straight. Would we treat straight people how we are sometimes treated? And how would that maybe affect us in the long run? I mean, there's questions that are just undeniably, they go to the root of your soul and go, wait a minute. I mean, hey, we are the marginalized society. What would be? How would this be? And you boys have seen it. Can you say something on it?
I thought it was interesting because I didn't know anything about it. So I had no premise of what it was about when I went into it. So it makes you think oh, wow, yeah, how would we act if we were the majority in the world, basically? And how would we interact with people who didn't see it our way? Yeah,
it's putting the light through the other side of the prism.
Right.
And I think we've all sort of thought about, wouldn't it be great if it was a gay world? But this takes the kernel of an idea and explores it and lets it grow a little bit. So I enjoyed that part. But I've got to be honest, Faye, you kill it. You are awesome. I loved seeing it. So yeah. Thank you. Bravo. And after this weekend, I want to talk with you. Maybe we'll do it here on the show. I don't know. But I want to talk with you about how you've grown just over the 3 weekends. Like your perspective from dress rehearsal that Thursday through closing curtain on Saturday. So be prepared. I'm going to ask you about that.
Okay, please do. Just, know, folks, if you're still able to get tickets, please do so, right, for Friday and Saturday. These folks are so talented. This group of people, these actors, this ensemble, I have a new respect and admiration. I have seen a million musicals, and I'm a musical nerd, and I am that person that reads the playbill from beginning to end. I'm interested in these actors and what they've done, right?
Yeah.
These folks are just incredible, and they've opened me in as a non-actor with open arms, I mean, I'm like this. I'm thirsty behind all of them. Like, you guys are so incredible. So please come out and see Upside Down. It's going to be, it really has been an experience, an incredible experience. And we're there for one more weekend.
Well, Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you at Upside Down Musical through February 14th.
I'm FayWhat, and let's queer up the USA view. Battle erupts over pride flag removal at Stonewall. A protest took place Tuesday afternoon at the Stonewall National Monument in New York City after the Trump administration removed the LGBTQ plus pride flag from the site. The New York City Council is calling on the National Park Service to restore the pride flag at the Stonewall National Monument, escalating tensions over changes at one of LGBTQ plus's history's most sacred sites. In a letter led by Council Speaker Julie Menon, members argued that removing the flag from Christopher Park severs the monument from a symbol central to its meaning. The letter read, quote, "The events that took place there catalyzed a global movement for dignity, equality, and freedom, guiding principles upon which our nation was founded. The pride flag has long flown as a symbol of that struggle and of the resilience of a community that continues to fight for its basic rights," end quote. Across the street, the Stonewall Inn continued to fly pride flags as organizers planned the protest Tuesday evening. Mayor Zoran Mandani condemned the move, saying, quote, "New York is the birthplace of the modern LGBTQ plus rights movement, and no act of erasure will ever change or silence that history," end quote. Senator Chuck Schumacher called the decision deeply outrageous, while Representative Mark Takano described it as part of a broader effort to erase every example of support for the queer community. The Trump administration says the change follows long-standing Interior Department rules limiting which flags may fly on National Park Service managed poles. But the community and advocates counter that at Stonewall. The pride flag is not a decoration, but honestly, living history. And God, so now we're removing the pride flag from Stonewall now? I mean, that's like taking the cross off a church and calling it policy, okay? Stonewall is not decor. It's the birthplace of a global movement. It's our 9/11. Like, that is like blasphemy, disrespect. Right? I can go on and on as to what that is by taking down that flag.
Well, I mean, it's just... It's part of, at this point, the second administration. Now we're in the second year of the second administration. This lap, they're going to go tit for tat on the symbols. It's, the crosswalks were gone in year one. This year they're taking this away. I heard, oh God, I can't remember the source, but I heard this, that it's return justice for making them take down all the Confederate monuments and statues over the last 10 or 15 years. It's being compared as, I'm just saying it's being compared
but I can see that.
As that tit for tat. Yeah. So, and a bunch of homosexual sodomites versus traitors that killed 2% of the American population. Yeah, that's a real strong comparison.
The same administration that is putting this guy's name on the Kennedy Center in DC, okay? So just tell me how outrageous this is, that he's so self-centered and so egomaniac that his name is fine, in a monument that was created for a revered American president, and he changed it just to be another praise for him. While we are trying to erase communities, not just our community, but the Black community, the immigrant community, all these communities, just because, his ego is being bruised.
And because he's racist and disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, last year I went to, I was there. I went there to see it. It was the first time I've ever went there. So I'm looking at it, I'm still picturing all this in my head, and I'm going, they need to paint all the buildings surrounding that all in pride colors.
Right.
It's like, okay, we don't need the flag. Look, the whole friggin' block is painted in pride colors.
But if the flag is on the I wonder if the flag is on the Stonewall end.
No.
Is that,
No. It's that little. No, it's the little part.
it was.
The flag is still at the Stonewall Inn.
It's the little park, the little park across the
park.
street. So Stonewall Inn is independently owned and operated, all right? So the Stonewall Inn is privately owned and independently operated. We are not affiliated with the federal government, and we will never lower our flags. We are going to add more flags.
Good.
Okay, that's what Stonewall Inn across the street is going to do. And that's how we have to fight it.
Exactly.
Right? You know, we fight darkness with light, and a lot of it, and a lot of progressive flags. And trust me, we have a lot of flags. Just saying.
I'm Von Biggs, and let's queer up health. Relationship dynamics and HIV prevention in China and the United States. A new global research project is shedding light on HIV testing and PrEP engagement among sexual minority men, highlighting how relationship dynamics influence prevention behaviors. A recent study from China states that sexual minority men, which they refer to as SMM, in China continue to face a disproportionately high burden of HIV. Researchers surveyed 1,379 sexually active, sexually minority men using a geosocial networking app. The study explains that the purpose was to find the association between relationship status and sexual agreements and HIV testing behaviors, PrEP willingness, and PrEP uptake. The findings showed that 36%, that is more than 1/3 of the Chinese sexual minority men, were in a relationship, and among these men, 44% had a monogamous sexual agreement, and 24.6% were having an open relationship agreement. The study also found that partnered Chinese SMM were more likely to have received a recent HIV test. This means they were more likely to have been tested than single men. The research also shows that bisexual men were less likely to have tested for HIV and less likely to have ever used PrEP as compared to gay men. How do these findings compare to what we see here in the United States? A 2024 viewpoint in the Lancet HIV states that Black men account for just 11% of PrEP prescriptions in the United States, even though national targets require roughly 50% PrEP coverage. This is similar to what is seen in China, where bisexual men and men in open relationships showed lower prevention engagement. A majority systemic review in the United States that included 42,870 Black MSM found PrEP awareness at 50.8% and PrEP uptake at only 15.5%. A study of the Latinx sexual minority men in the United States revealed that cultural silence, religious expectations, misinformation, and stigma limit HIV testing and PrEP engagement. At the same time, the Chinese study also suggests the need for tailored interventions, whether in China or here in our own communities. We need more awareness around HIV testing and PrEP behavior. You know, I think it was very interesting to read about the sexual dynamics, whether you were in an open relationship, where you were monogamous, where you partnered.
Monogamous partner agreement. That's
right.
what I was.
Right. So it's like it told the story of if they were in a certain agreement that they weren't really getting tested that much if they were in that monogamous relationship. But what it showed was, even in the U.S. study comparisons, is that our bisexual men are not on PrEP. They're not getting tested as much as they should, which when you look at our uptake of HIV in the country, that explains some of that.
Wow, isn't that crazy though? But I mean, whether it's China or the U.S., the problem isn't being queer or being gay. It's the stigma of it all. You know, Black men are only 11% of PrEP.
Right.
You know, when we need 50% coverage. I mean, think about that. You know, that's not a gap. That's a freaking canyon, and it's scary, especially during this time here in the U.S. with all the cuts.
Well, and here it's associated to obviously your socioeconomic status. I mean, minority communities traditionally obviously have been marginalized when it comes to accessing prevention and treatment in HIV.
And trust of healthcare.
Right, and exactly. So where people are not, willing to disclose and unable to, seek treatment many times or prevention. So, but I question sometimes, in China, how reliable this data may be, because the government control the media and control access to these networks and this. I went to China and right before the pandemic, and you could have actually access to Grindr. You could access Grindr.
Maybe that was what they were using. Maybe that was the app that they were using instead of Geo app.
Right.
So.
That's what I question, because if it's the state, because they do have their own apps, okay? Right. And they control, and I met people, local people that told me that the government knows what you purchase. They know what you're into, and it's very well controlled. So it will have to be something independent. Like, I don't know how independent Grindr is, but I wouldn't trust the run app by the Chinese government.
Well, we're not far from that here. I mean, look at the Ring cameras and all the news stories that have come out recently about how all that information is going back to the government as well.
I wouldn't be surprised if this government tries to go after Grindr, for example, right now here in the United States.
Don't touch our Grindr. Right. How dare you?
I'm still bitter that the Obama administration took away Rent Boys.
He has his own little protest at home with just one little sign.
You're the only one.
I'm John Hayden, and let's queer up politics. GOP lawmaker thanks God for sending Trump. A Republican member of Congress is facing criticism after remarks made during a prayer at a Washington, D.C. event hosted by the Family Research Council. Representative Brian Babin of Texas spoke at the organization's national gathering for prayer and repentance, please forgive me, held at the Museum of the Bible. Spoiler alert, that's a thing. The Family Research Council is classified as an anti-LGBTQ plus hate group by the Southern Poverty Law Center. During the prayer, Babin said, "Lord, we beseech thee, our prayers were answered in getting us a new president and taking us in a different direction than our country had seen for the previous 4 years. Apostasy, blasphemy, taking our children down a path of homosexuality and perversity, open borders, criminals running rampant in our street. Lord, we have new leadership, and we thank you for that. But Lord, we know that the government is not going to save our country. It's going to be the American people returning to the path that you have set out for us and our founding fathers. Amen. Hallelujah." Babin has consistently received a score of 0 on the Human Rights Campaign Congressional Scorecard, reflecting his opposition to LGBTQ plus equality. He has supported legislation restricting queer content in schools, marriage equality, and he's also introduced bills seeking to roll back Obama-era guidance supporting trans students. Now, he is thankful to God for sending Trump to protect America. Good Lord. I mean, seriously, this person, I've never even heard of him. I mean, a Republican in Texas. I mean, that's,
who loves God.
Who loves God.
I'm so glad there's not a video of this, because I needed to hear it from you like that.
I feel that my interpretation is a pretty
spot on.
Yeah.
Yes.
But wait a minute. The Museum of the Bible.
Oh, you're still with that.
I'm still, like, wait, huh?
No. Okay, let's listen to this. Okay, 0 on the HRC scorecard.
Right.
0, all right? That's not a coincidence. That's a resume. That's literally telling you right there. You can't wrap discrimination in scripture and say it's something else. It's still discrimination. And what the hell happened to separation of church and state? I don't understand. Wasn't that a thing way back when, sometime?
Don't they go to the White House and surround him and then they pray and touch him like a cult? I mean, this is ridiculous. So I'm not surprised. I mean, these are the people that
it's a lot of men touching other men.
Right. Yeah. Women are not allowed. Women are not allowed.
Maybe I am in favor of this thing.
Oh my gosh.
I'm Dino Mosquera, and let's queer up trans rights. Fox News produced nearly 1,000 anti-trans articles in 2025. Fox News reporting on transgender people is drawing renewed scrutiny after new research suggested that outlets' article output is surpassing that of every other major news publication, including LGBTQ plus media. According to statistics compiled by researcher Jessica Kent, the Murdoch-owned network published more articles referencing the trans community in 2025 than any other news outlet. Kant noted that Fox News articles accounted for over half of all anti-trans coverage produced by 6 leading conservative U.S. outlets. The report states that for nearly 4 consecutive years, Fox News published more stories referencing transgender people than there were days in the year, exceeding outlets including The Advocate, NBC News, The Guardian, and The Washington Post. Kant's ongoing study tracks anti-trans coverage across the US and the UK. She said the project began after noticing that what she described as an astronomical rise in trans-focused reporting. Kant said, quote, "Every time I think I've scratched the surface of what I've come to call the outrage factory, I lose an entire weekend combining through stacks of awfulness that takes a whole bank to monitors to see," end quote. Her analysis segmented articles using 3 keywords: biological sex, gender identity, and transgender. The term transgender appear more frequently across outlets. Kant's figures show Fox News published nearly 1,000 anti-trans articles in 2025. By comparison, the outlet The Advocate produced just under 500, while the New York Times published just over 500. The findings align with previous reports by Media Matters for America, which said Fox News television programming spent more than 4 hours praising Donald Trump anti-trans executive orders between January 20th and February 19. Check out the breakdown from Jessica Kant at jesk.org. I'm not surprised that, the Fox News viewership, pay so much attention to trans issues. Obviously, they're obsessed with this. It's like selective outrage at things that are really not that relevant, and overlooking things such as pedophilia and that part, and the release of the Epstein files, for example, and just going after a community that
less than 1%.
Less than 1% is a low-hanging fruit, really. It's so easy for them to go after this and find outrage in support in this crazy country that we're living in right now. So,
well, you figure the trans population, roughly, studies vary, but roughly is about 0.2%. That's 1 in 500. So Fox News and their little neo-fascist acolytes and copycats have to keep a boogeyman out there. And unlike marriage equality, a generation ago, everybody knew a gay person. You know what I mean? Once there's enough out there, they like, oh, we know this person. We still don't know a lot of trans people. Even at this table, we are very much community activists, but just in the general community, even we might not know a trans person. So they can keep this boogie person out there. They can, who's going to be in your bathrooms, who's going to be in your child's school. Your child is going to have transplant surgery after math class and be home in time to watch Peppa Pig. They have to keep people scared, or else
and misinformed.
There's no money to be made. There's no money to be made in truth and information.
No, of course not. But I mean, wow, nearly 1,000 anti-trans articles in 1 year, right? Like Dino said, there's only 365 days in the year, right? So that's not reporting. That's being obsessed with our community, which you are, almost like borderline fetish, And when you publish more stories than Hotspots happening out, okay, you're not covering a community, you're targeting a community. Yep. And that's basically what they're doing there, at Fox News. I love how you call it. Can you say it?
Fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck them.
I'm FayWhat, and let's queer up gay culture. A Berkeley professor and her students save LGBTQ plus history one edit at a time. A University of California, Berkeley professor and her students are using Wikipedia to document and preserve queer history amid rising misinformation and political efforts affecting diversity and inclusion. Since 2016, Juana Maria Rodriguez, a professor of ethnic studies, has incorporated Wikipedia editing into her coursework. Over a decade, her students have created 63 new articles and edited 588 others, contributing more than 332,000 words and over 3,000 citations. Collectively, those pages have drawn more than 900 million views. Rodriguez told Pink News, quote, "As a professor, I am really proud of the impact my students are having to make sure that Wikipedia reflects the diversity of the world. Wikipedia, the world's largest encyclopedia, remains one way that we can continue to document the truth of our histories and our social movements," end quote. Rodriguez said the work feels more urgent than ever under the Trump administration, citing policy changes and the removal of references to transgender and bisexual people from the Stonewall National Monument website. The initiative is supported through a partnership with Wiki Education, which trains students and academics in Wikipedia editing. And now, this is the kind of activism that I love, you know,
Right.
Footnotes and facts. Facts. Okay, you get that? Over 900 million views on queer history pages built by students. That's impact, you know? While some folks are busy deleting us from websites, these scholars, these kids, these students are adding 3,000 citations back into record, you know? So you can continue to try to erase us, and there are still going to be folks like Mrs. Rodriguez that are going to make sure that certain parts of our history is intact.
Yeah. And you know, fact-checking Wikipedia can feel like Atlas pushing the boulder up the mountain. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, but I applaud the
effort.
activism, because what these kids do in the classroom, they're going to continue that. Maybe not editing Wikipedia, but they're going to continue that kind of search of truth activism throughout their careers. So, you know, as many jokes as we make about Wikipedia, and I made plenty of them. Thank you. Thank you very much for doing what you're doing.
You know, Berkeley has a great history of inclusivity, and I'm so surprised that we've not heard a lot of media about them being attacked for that. But in history, they've served, you know, the LGBTQ community in ways that, and this is just another way, and it's a professor doing this. It's
A Latina professor.
A Latina
Right.
ethics professor. Like the fact that that all even exists right
That's
now
right. So-
is a beautiful thing, right?
Exactly.
Well, UC Berkeley, they have money,
Yeah.
you know, and they are a very well-supported college.
Right.
You know, they're over there in California, and you know, we wish that more people were doing this.
Yeah.
LGBTQ 1 Minute News. Let's queer up gay culture. Hotspots magazine new issue celebrates love at first bark. Woof. Our Hotspots Happening Out LGBTQ lifestyle magazine Hotspots is back with a feature on Galleria Fort Lauderdale's Valentine's Day event called Love at First Bark. The celebration includes a dog adoption expo and a red-themed doggy fashion show on Saturday, February 14th, hosted by the beautiful JC Birch. The event supports local rescue organizations and pet lovers alike. This and many more and many such features are included in your free copy of the upcoming issue of Hotspots magazine on stands this Thursday, February 12th. I love Hotspots magazine because they make sure to tell you what's going on so you can like filter down and know what you want to do over the weekend. You know, Saturday's going to be a busy day because it's Valentine's Day, but it's Saturday also, right? So having this event in the middle of the day at Galleria Mall gives you just enough time to support the little, you know, four-legged creatures, and then, you know, with your loved one, and then maybe take your baby out to dinner, or you can adopt a pet and then you're going home. But, you know, but I mean, it's such a beautiful thing to do for Valentine's Day. JC Birch is a friend. I've known her for like at least 25 years. And something that we've always had in common is our loves for animals. And she is a huge advocate for them. And they're having a fashion show and an adopting event and all that at Galleria Mall in Fort Lauderdale. So how wonderful is that?
Yeah. You know, this story reminds me of the first time I met Jake Gyllenhaal. And I looked him in the eyes and went, woof.
Really?
That's it.
Okay.
I mean, that's, you know, what we tell people when we like them. Everybody all together. Whoa.
Woof. LGBTQ 1 Minute News. Let's queer up entertainment. Bad Bunny set Super Bowl record. Bad Bunny has broken the record for the most watched Super Bowl halftime show in history. The multi-Grammy winner and Spotify's top streamed artist since 2022 delivered a performance celebrating queer rights, Latin America culture, and global unity at the Apple Music Super Bowl halftime show on Sunday. CBS News reports that 135.4 million viewers tuned in despite boycott calls from right-wing critics. The show now stands as the most watched halftime performance in Super Bowl history, surpassing past sets by Rihanna, Shakira, Madonna, and Queen Bee herself, Beyonce. See right here. This was great. I loved watching the show. I was happy to tune in for that, but that's all I did. Tune in for that, then I was off.
Yeah, the game was so. His show, I felt like it was 2005, and I was back at a club we would go to after the 11 o'clock news, and we'd go out to clubs in Miami, and it felt just like that, except during the Super Bowl halftime show, they spoke more English than they do at Miami clubs.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
I was like, what are you people upset about? This is great. It was culture. It's specifically our culture, but God, I had a great time watching.
Oh God, no, it was so historic. It gave so much backstory to the Puerto Rican plight of being a Boricua, and the history and all that. But at the same time, it was entertaining, and to see those two boys grinding by the little van, I was like, yeah, gay power. But there were so many gay little parts on there, like just little nuances that were like sent towards our community, I felt, or maybe I was just looking too hard. But I had to see it 5 times because I would always miss something.
No, me too. And there was so much in there. There were so many messages that and believe me, I'm not the biggest fan of Bad Bunny's music. However, I completely and utterly praise him for how he delivered this message on the 13 minutes that the show lasted.
Yeah.
There's so much in there, and you could ask any Boricua, which, you're part Boricua, and there's so many here, and it's not all love for the United States. There's so many, feelings of being a colony of the United States, and they were all reflected in those 13 minutes that he put out there. Puerto Ricans are American, and as Americans, they have all the right to show their culture to the whole country because they are part of this country.
Amen.
Period.
And again, the best halftime show ever.
Right.
LGBTQ plus 1 minute news. Let's queer up gay culture. F1's Ralf Schumacher set to marry his partner. Former Formula One driver Ralf Schumacher is set to marry his boyfriend Etienne Bosquet-Cassanja this May. The news follows Schumacher's July 2024 Instagram post where he came out as gay, captioning a sunset photo reading, "The most beautiful thing in life is when you have the right partner by your side with whom you can share everything." German outlet Bild says the couple plans a 3-day wedding event in Saint-Tropez. Schumacher, a 6-time Grand Prix winner, retired from Formula One in 2007 after making 180 race starts and turning plenty of hot laps.
Wow. I want to be invited.
I want to go.
How do we get invited? That's going to be better, way better than Jeff Bezos' stupid wedding in Italy.
But just 3 days?
3 days,
Just 3 days?
Saint-Tropez.
Well, okay.
And look how hot they are. And you know they have hot friends.
All the more
right?
reason why we want to stay longer.
They will make beautiful kids.
They
together.
would make beautiful babies, and I bet you they're already trying.
Yeah.
I'm imagining them trying right now.
All the fun is in the trying.
LGBTQ 1 minute news. Let's queer up gay culture. Conservative group 1 Million Moms targets Ramsay ad. A conservative Christian group is criticizing a new margarine commercial starring celebrity chef Gordon Ramsay. 1 Million Moms called the 45 seconds "I can't believe it's not butter" ad highly inappropriate over its bleep profanity. The group said, quote, "Foul language or implication of it is unnecessary in this or any advertisement," end of quote, urging supporters to complain. 1 Million Moms is a division of the American Family Association, an organization labeled a hate group by the Southern Poverty Law Center. Once again, fake outrage on the wrong things, in my opinion. You could watch any Republican in Congress using worse language than this.
Well, don't even go with the people we know. Literally, somebody asked Trump 2 weeks ago about the Epstein files, and he gave the person the finger.
That's right.
And then he said, "F you, our president."
That's
okay?
right.
Gordon Ramsay's known for cursing.
Yeah.
That's what he's known for. And homos love, "I can't believe it's not butter." So deal with it.
I mean, honestly, I can believe it's not butter. But that's his shtick. In prime time, for over a decade now, he's gone on there, and that's part of what you tune in for, to see how many times he's going to get bleeped. So I am just amazed the 1 million moms, which is more like, 25 or 30 moms, have any pearls left to clutch.
They should do something else.
Yeah. No comment.
LGBTQ 1 Minute News. Let's queer up South Florida and Florida. South Florida community celebrated and united at Cannes Cookout. Hotspots Happening Out marked its 5th anniversary. Cannes Black History Month Cookout with a vibrant family-friendly celebration centered on unity and Black joy. This event welcomed Black and brown, straight and queer attendees, drawing exceptional turnout from children and families alike for games, food, and fun. Free entry, food, and parking were offered thanks to sponsors including Cannes Midland Medical, Aquaplex Pride Holdings Liquor, Cisco Food, and the City of Wilton Manors. Cannes Community Health and Midland Medical provided HIV testing alongside a JetBlue flight ticket giveaway. Community members were also honored with a Black History Month proclamation from the City of Wilton Manors, highlighting inclusion and togetherness. So this was the 5th year, I believe, and it was even better than ever. There was even more food than last year. There was more music than last year. First Lady was also doing her thing, hosting over there. Thank you so much to her, to Deirdre, to JB, to all the folks. Thank you so much to Cannes Community Health and Midland. They gave away a free flight, a JetBlue flight. I mean, again, you had really good odds with just the people that were there. They pulled the name out right there. I mean, hello, things are expensive.
Right.
So what a wonderful celebration, Black queer joy and everybody in between. And, my favorite part is that when we do family structured things, I love to see LGBTQ plus people bring their family to these events, and they had a whole section that was all for the kids, and I always appreciate that. And you could bring your dogs this year, which I loved. So all about a cookout.
Yeah.
It's Black History Month. I mean, just it should be every month, but you don't see much. I mean, this month celebrating the Black gay community. So good that we can have this, and kudos to Cannes and Midland for bringing this to the community.
Yep, and Hotspots Happening Out. Thank you, folks. Year 5. Look at us. As a nonprofit LGBTQ media organization, we would like to thank our viewers for supporting our mission to tell the stories of the queer community. We'd also like to thank the generous support of Jets Pizza. Jets is the LGBTQ community's most popular pizza in South Florida.
Take a look around these streets. Do you really think we woke up one day and said, yeah, the world needs more pizza? Nah, just a better one. Better, like the world's best pizza. Jet's Detroit-style pizza. Hand-pressed and baked to the thickest, crispiest crunch. You're welcome. Now visit jetspizza.com and save. Click on hot deals for special offers in your area. Jets, better because it has to be.
These are today's headlines from Queer News Tonight, and our anchors represent the best of our LGBTQ family.
If our community is important to you, share this news with your friends and family. Don't forget to join the conversation on your favorite streaming platform.
Queer News Tonight is the only live LGBTQ plus digital television show in the world that is out of the closet and into the headlines. We need your support. If our community is to grow and then thrive, we must tell our stories and bring them to the attention of the broader world.
This is the only place in the world that tells this type of LGBTQ stories in motion and sound. That is the passion of Hotspots Magazine, Happening Out Television Network, and Queer News Tonight.
I'm your lead anchor, FayWhat, and I thank you for joining us on behalf of my fellow LGBTQ anchors here at Queer News Tonight, including Vaughn Biggs, John Hayden, and Dino Mosquera. We will see you daily at 8 p.m. Why am I talking like that? I don't know. But to our LGBTQ plus world, we wish you a great night.
Good night.